What up? Welcome back. Today we are talking about the Canon EOS 10D. Released in 2003, this is Canon's mid-range level camera compared to the 300D, which I believe is the first of the Rebel series, and their 1DS, which is their professional level camera. And it's actually taken me a while to film this video because the shutter release button doesn't really, if ever anymore, fire unless I have the battery grip on. And when I got the camera, which was about 10 years ago, it had the battery grip attached, and I always really just kept it on. So I don't know if the electronics said, hey, we're going to work better with the battery grip, but it does fire with this on, and it has a shutter release there to do in portrait mode. And if I do landscape, I just use my ring finger or my pinky finger. So yeah, like I said, the tech is kind of old, and I'm going to go over some of the specs. I don't want it to be a tech review, maybe highlight some key details about it and just see if it holds up in 2024. Alright, so I'm going to read notes here because I didn't bother memorizing all this stuff. It was released in 2003 and has a 6.3 megapixel APS-C sensor. It has a digic processor, which apparently was something notable. I guess it was the first camera to use a digic processor, but I really don't know what that means. Like I said, old tech, so I guess it was good. The ISO ranges from 100 to 3200, which is kind of wild if you think about cameras nowadays. Body's made of magnesium alloy, and it uses CF cards. And I don't know how many people here have used CF cards, but it's what they had before SD cards. When it was released, it was priced at $1,999. I looked online, and it looks like you can get one for about 50 bucks, give or take. So this is Canon's mid-range level camera, so it was targeted towards serious amateur photographers. So the sensor is a 6.3 megapixel crop sensor camera, and to think that entry-level cameras now probably don't go under 20, 24, and can go up to 40. So just because they're 4 times less megapixels, does it make it 4 times worse? I don't know. So externally, the camera's pretty solid. It has that magnesium alloy body, and everything's very tactile. Canon's very well known for making strong bodied cameras. Very satisfying, and I think that's kind of the appeal to shooting a camera like this, is that everything on it feels like I'm pressing a button. There's not much digital interaction going on. Pretty standard menu button layout on the back, wheel to help you get through the menu, 2 on and off switches on the camera. One of them is to control the actual wheel itself, so you can turn that off and not change any settings. You have the wheel on top, AF, white balance, ISO, and some exposure buttons on top. Shutter release, like I said, mine's broken, so a couple of ports on the side that is actually missing a little cap for it that fell off. Like I said, I've had it for 10 years, so the digital screen on the back is pretty small and isn't really have much to it, but it does the job. One thing I do want to note is that when I take photos and I want to review pictures, they do take a while to pop up, and I guess that just comes with age. The CR 2025 battery port on the bottom, which I believe is probably for the flash, and the port for the BP511, which I don't really use because I use the battery grip. I really enjoy holding this type of camera. I've since moved on to Fujifilm, and they make things so compact that when you hold something like this, you kind of feel like you're really holding a camera. I feel like that's kind of the appeal when you're shooting. So we're venturing into new ground a little bit because 1, I hate being in front of the camera, and 2, I hate doing this in public, so trying something new. So today we're using the Sigma 18-35 1.8. I've had this lens for years, absolutely love it. I shot Canon for a long time and have since switched over to Fuji, so I wanted to walk around this little complex thing because it has like an old Western old-timey feel, but I don't think it's open today. Doing this vlog type video, it's kind of a lot of work, so kudos to people who do this all the time. That's fine, I guess. Literally, as I stopped recording, this kid fell in the lake, and I feel so bad. So one thing I want to note, going back to the nostalgia of the clunky old school cameras, is that I wish I had a smaller lens. This is kind of heavy. Ooh. So final thoughts. I think the images are perfectly usable. I wouldn't take it on a professional paid shoot necessarily where I need to fire off thousands of photos for a client. But if I'm going on a trip or a weekend kind of thing and I just want to take a fun old camera with me that might turn some heads, I would definitely take this with me. Maybe family stuff, personal stuff. I do want to get a pancake lens for this camera, maybe a 40mm, and I'm looking at getting a 5D classic or one of the 5Ds up to the Mark IV. I think that'd be really cool to kind of take around and shoot with. So yeah, leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe, do all that good shit, and we'll see you on the next one.